What's up guys, Excalibur here and welcome back to Star Ocean Anamnesis. So today we finally got the final part of the Valkyrie profile event, so it'll all be over soon and we can go back to regularly scheduled SOA. So let's take a look at the update, shall we? But first, look at this, 300k gems, yes! Finally, it'll all disappear during summer, believe me. I'm not looking forward to that. So first we have the new Maze of Frost. I think this is the third time that this one reran, but hey, I'm not complaining. I could always use more coins. So if you want to get through this maze, bring any of these three characters because they can nullify the freezing, or you could just bring a very strong defender and you'll be fine. And then we have the Purged Wizard Chapter 3, so this is the final part of the event, and I haven't really been keeping up with the event story. I'm going to read that later because it does seem kind of interesting. So I'll get back to you on that. So in this event you have a bunch of quests, they drop a ton of gems, very cool, and this event actually doesn't have a shop, it only has the magic crystals which you can exchange in the exact same box draw, so you can just farm that a lot. So these weapons, these event weapons can be gotten from the event achievements, I'm pretty sure. So first we have the Monster Manifesto, that is Lazard's weapon, increases Shadow Servant by 20% damage, AP recovery speed plus 30%, and at max limit break you unlock damage dealt to humanoids plus 10%. It's not too bad, but personally I would just transmute it and go with the advanced combat book that you can find in the coin shop. It's a lot better. And then the Infinity Rod, that one's for Mystina. It increases Sacred Javelin damage by 15%, reduces evasion AP cost, and gives you repel plus 1 at max limit break. Same thing goes for this one. I would transmute it into the Winged Scepter that you can also find in the coin shop. And then last one, we have the Alchemist's Glasses, which give you anti-flinch during casting when the hit count is sitting at 150 hits or more, and give you a 30-10 guts. This one is actually a pretty decent accessory because anti-flinch casting is still very uncommon on characters, and I think the only character that has a party-wide anti-flinch is Fiore. So very good accessory for most casters. Highly recommend hanging on to this. So aside from that, like I said, the box draw, you can use magic crystals to draw all of this stuff, which is in the first couple of boxes, and then you reset it a couple of times and then you get a different lineup of items. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but just use your magic crystals on that. So for the event achievements, you get the, there we go, there are the weapons, and then you have to clear Lezard Misery 140 times to get some small limit breakers, pretty cool. And then there is this, which also appeared in the previous chapters. You have to acquire this event item right here, the Mind Fragment, and then you can unlock this part of the story. So for the boss, we have Lezard Valeth. Finally, he's a humanoid boss, weak to light and darkness. Oh boy, two very powerful elements. So can I just say how much I like that art? It looks so freaking cool, man. Wow. So, Lazard, weak to light and dark. Both characters that we got, like Lezard and Mystina here, they possess light. Lezard also possesses dark. Of course, the near characters have light in spades. Pretty sure that's it. A lot of characters have light, including Clam Soloise in the coin shop, which is a one-handed sword. One's also light imbuement. So this should be fairly simple. And then we have the Book of Dark Revelations, which increases light and dark damage both by 35%, gives you critical hit damage plus 20%, and increases or gives you a 60-20 guts. So this might actually be one of the best tomes that we currently have access to. So it's made for Lazard because he has both light and dark. But even if you're not going to pull for Lazard, this is a very good tome to have considering that it covers both light and dark. So if there's ever a tome user in the future that uses either light or dark, you've got them covered with this. And then we have the Griffins, which increase damage dealt to humanoids by 40%, gives you normal attack AP recovery plus 100%, and at limit break 3 you unlock anti-flinch while you're attacking. So I wouldn't recommend specifically pulling for these because they don't do anything fantastic in particular, but if you manage to pick it up randomly, then it could come in handy if you're using Ashton, considering that he has both fire and ice on his attacks, but I think he's the only character that can actually make good use of this currently. This is a pretty decent gacha. I recommend pulling on this if you have a tome user that uses either light or dark, and or if you have a staff user that uses light. Pretty cool. And now for the new characters, we have Lezard. Oh man, his first talent increases int by 20% for the entire party. His second talent converts 50% of int into attack for all attackers, sharpshooters, and defenders. His third talent increases int by 30% when he uses Dark Savior, and increases critical hit chance by 30% when he uses Mystic Cross. And his last talent reduces AP cost and symbol invoking time by 40% when his skill chain is at 3 or more. His rush has a 4000% multiplier and reduces AP cost and symbol invoking time by 80% post-rush. And then you can see his attacks, they cover light and dark both perfectly. So Mystic Cross and Dark Savior have a very similar damage output and both 18 AP cost, and then Prismatic Missile and Shadow Servant also have a very similar damage output and also cost almost the exact same amount of AP. And then he's got an instat of 2700, which is kind of low, but he does have Necromancy to make up for that, which increases int by 30%, so it goes up to about 3500, which is decent. So Lazard is a very good character, and that mostly comes down to this talent right here. He's the first one that has it, which the way that works is it takes 50% of the instat of a character and then adds that to their attack stat, and it's a completely unique buff, so it stacks with everything, which makes it incredibly good. And then not to mention that Lazard himself is also not too bad, because you can see Prismatic Missile has an 11 hit count, 670 multiplier, Shadow Servant with a 720 multiplier, so Lazard himself is also pretty good when it comes to dishing out damage. Overall, a very good character to have, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have quite a few of him running around in public lobbies, so be wary of that. And then up next we have Mystina. Her first talent increases attack and int damage by 40% and increases critical hit chance and damage by 20% when the party is sitting at 100% HP. Her second talent reduces her symbol invoking time by 80% and recovers 50% HP every 20 seconds. Her third talent reduces her AP cost by 40% when her skill chain is at 3 or more, and her last talent increases her int and HP by 30% and 10% each. And her rush has a 3500% multiplier and gives her anti-flinch casting for 40 seconds and increases the party's AP recovery speed by 50% for 30 seconds. And then similar to Lazard, she also has two elements for her attacks, light and fire. And she's got an int stat of 3500, which is also very similar to Lazard. So Mystina, she is not too bad either. She has 40% attack and int damage, which is the highest attack and int damage buff that we have currently, so that's really good. Critical hit chance and damage also increase her damage output even further, but the problem is that she uses a staff, and that makes her kind of slow and sluggish. She does have symbol invoking time minus 80%, but that still doesn't really make that big of a difference. But she should have very good damage output, considering that she has like a 1080% multiplier on her skills. It does have a 52 AP cost, but she reduces her AP cost by 40%, so that also shouldn't matter too much. So out of both of these, I would say that Lezard is the better one, but Mystina is not too shabby either. And on top of that, they're both invokers. We could always use more invokers because we have so many physical characters, so seeing an invoker is always cool. So if you like these two characters and you're still debating on whether or not you should roll, I would say go for it. It's a pretty good banner. Alright, that does it for the event update. I'll try to get the rest of the event cutscenes up, chapter 2 and 3, before the actual event ends, so that you can rewatch those whenever you want. But I think that about does it, so hope you guys enjoyed that, and I guess I will see you all next time. Peace!